That is just a crazy amount of mud. I can barely hold it up. I'd say it's 1.5 inches. Good morning. The microwave clock shows weird, but it's 5:12. But the dilemma right now is my cell phone is saying it's 6:12 because it keeps thinking there's daylight saving time. But Arizona, for the most part, does not participate in that. Yeah, good morning. So I'm getting packed up now. It's proper time. I actually had to Google like proper times to confirm that, it's still 6 o'clock here now. So I'm sure we're good, and my ride's gonna be here at 8, not at, you know what I mean. So they don't change the time here. So that's basically it. It's weird that the cell phone didn't change it. Usually it communicates with the local towers, and the local towers know, and Payson doesn't change it, so should have been fine. But my cell phone flipped over, woke me up an hour early. There's the coffee. And yeah, so I'm getting ready to get packed up. I'm gonna eat breakfast and get going. Tonight and tomorrow night, it looks like it's gonna be pretty cold. I looked up the weather for Pine. I'll show you the screenshot of what I got here. But I'm hoping it's getting better. It looks like it's gonna warm up after that, but I don't know. Someone on YouTube commented that, I forgot what mileage, but about 50 miles ahead, there's a washout marked on Godhooks that's, I guess there's snow covering it, and it's really sketchy, and then people had to turn back there. So believe it or not, in Roosevelt, I had my micro spikes in the box. So if it need be, I have it. And from what she said, the trail steward said you need micro spikes to get past it. So I think I'll be able to get through, and I'll be just fine. The only worry is, as we get further north, if it keeps snowing, it's just going to be so deep, it's just going to slow you down. I've been planning for 20-mile days, but if there's a lot of snow, it just slows you down, and it's going to be tougher. So we'll see how it goes. Off to Pine next. Breakfast today. The hotel didn't have much of a breakfast. They just had a whole bunch of these things and some yogurts. So I grabbed a bunch. So eating 2 of them, that's about 500 calories. So that's not bad. Should get me rolling for the morning. Well, goodbye hotel room. I think I got everything out of you. And let's see what outside looks like. Yep. Snowed more last night. Usually the cars have it, but the ground is always kind of clear. Huh.
There are snow plows is out pushing snow and salting the road and sanding, but they're still right in here.
I just got dropped off here at Sunflower, pretty much right where I got picked up. My trail angels had parked over here, so we actually got off the road, or got off the trail, and we walked parallel to the road for a while, and then we came here. So the catch now is I have to get back to where we were. The Arizona Trail is off over there next to the highway, so we have to skirt around the shoulder a little bit, and then eventually hop a barbed wire fence. And I'll know if I'm there based on the different types of garbage I saw as we came out, as well as a dead baby coyote. So that's the path I'm going to take. Head back on. I have to say though, it's like not nervous, a little nervous. It's kind of exciting, the thrill. It's like a totally different environment. There's going to be snow everywhere, plenty of water. It's like, I don't know, it's like a different hike. Like, I hiked through the desert, and now next part's coming up, and I don't know, it's gonna be fun. And I do have micro spikes. I heard maybe about 30 miles up there's a wash that's kind of sketchy if you don't have it. So I don't know, we'll see. So a lot of it's gonna melt over the next 2 days too, so I don't know what's gonna happen. So this is gonna be really interesting. Let's just get back on the trail first, and I'll talk to you. It's quite loud out here. Well, we're back to the barbed wire fence. When we walked over, It was nice when we had multiple people because someone could hold it down with like a hiking pole and other people step over. Weird aluminum pot here. But I'm gonna look for the shorter area and see if I could climb over. I might, hey, if you want water, there's water in there. I'm just gonna use my trekking poles and try to push it down. I think this is where we passed last time. As you can see, that part's bent, so this we'll have to do. Here's the method I used, and it seemed to work. I didn't get poked, although my pants snagged once. There's little links here, so you just take your trekking poles and just push it down and you can climb over. So I'm back on the Arizona Trail. Things are dripping water, everything's wet. It's pretty exciting. I don't know what's gonna happen here. There's a ton of snow up in Flagstaff too. I'll be there maybe 10 days, maybe 12 days. I don't know how much snow is gonna be melted by then. It's gonna be a whole new world for a while. But for now, we're gonna have quite a bit of climb. I think today I'm just gonna try to go for 16, 17. Nothing too crazy, just because I had a late start. And if I keep going, I'll wind up camping higher up. So after 16, 17, I'll find a spot to camp and call it a night, because it's supposed to snow a little bit more tonight. So we'll see how it goes. Honestly thought it's gonna be a lot colder, but when the sun comes out, it is hot. So time to take the rain jacket off. Oop. Whew. It's actually pretty warm. It's just so hard to tell because one second it could be sunny and warm, and the next second these super low clouds can come in and it'll be cold, but we'll be hiking up, so. Watch, it'll start raining now that I took the jacket off. Alright, ready. Here's something I have yet to tackle on the trail. It's the mud. I don't know how many of you have hiked in mud, but the problem is if it's really sticky, it just kicks on your feet and it just gets heavy. Like twice as heavy, I can feel it. My trekking poles are feeling heavier too. Now I kind of welcome the rocks and gravel. It's just kind of mud here. You can tell there was one person in front of me. He was walking when it was even muddier. He's leaving deeper grooves where he stepped. Don't recognize the print though. I don't know who he is. Oh my gosh, super muddy. And not only does it stick, it's like when you lift your feet, it's stuck to the ground. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. I'm probably an inch taller though. Oh, this is how it feels to be tall. Heavy shoes. Heavy shoes. Oh my gosh. Thought I had trail runners. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So heavy. My pants are gonna be so dirty. These are my shoes. Oh my gosh. Look at that. There's just mud up both sides. So heavy. Oh, my shoe almost fell off there. For a second, I can grab some rocks and just rub up on them. That's too much. It's like Herman Monster shoe level. Holy cow. This is too much. It's been pretty rough. The mud is so sticky out here. My trekking poles and my shoes are just collecting mud like crazy and everything's getting heavy. It's hard to walk. I have to constantly tap my trekking poles to get all the mud off. Let me show you one example. My right shoe isn't even bad right now, but here's a clean rock. This is just like half the mud off of just one shoe. my feet get so heavy. It's a lot of this muddy terrain as well. It's super slow going just because, oh man, they're so heavy. And it just, as soon as you scrape the mud off a little bit more and it collects. I've been trying to walk on these rocks, but I think the small gravel doesn't even help because it just gets stuck in the mud, gets even heavier. I've been trying to walk in the middle as well because it's a little less muddy. There's more plants, but it's unavoidable. It just collects. So I'm really hoping the sun comes out and bakes some of the top off so it's not so muddy. Beautiful up front though, right? So my plan, I've been mulling over what to do to get to Pine. If I just do 16 total today, I'll actually only have maybe like 60 miles more to get to Pine. And if I really push, I can get there. But I don't want to get there in the night like usual because I'm only staying one night there. And I'd also be there Wednesday. So I'm just going to do like 19 for the next 3 days, maybe 18s, depending on the terrain and the conditions. Oh my gosh, I'm so tall again. I think I had 2 inches of mud on me already. But it just doesn't make you walk right. Like I have high heels on or something. I don't know how women do it. That is just a crazy amount of mud. I can barely hold it up. I'd say it's 1.5 inches heels. Well, some of it's breaking off. Holy cow. It's so bad. Yes, I'm facing Sobo right now because I missed this cairn and this turn and walked for a quarter of a mile. So half a mile back. But back on Arizona Trail. Oh man, that was like a 15-minute detour probably with a lot of up and downs. Now to get to the real up and downs, the ones that matter. Oof. Don't miss that turn. Just taking a little break right now because I found a rock I could sit on, and just gonna eat this because it's starting to warm up, and I want to eat it before it goes bad or anything. It's basically the bell pepper I had. I love it. I cut it into strips like this, and I used to watch movies just eating it like French fries or something. But tired. It's quite amazing how much algae grows in these creeks. Like it fills most of it. It's insane. Good flow though. All that melting snow. I wish all the water would go into the creeks instead of being used to make mud. Oh, there's big pool. There are big pools all down there. I'm glad I didn't commit to too much today. I only have 10.8 miles and it's noon. Quite a bit of elevation change, but the real killer is this mud. It's just non-stop and it just collects on your shoes constantly and it's exhausting. I think I've only gone like 4 or 5 miles, but I am fatigued. It's the mud is horrible and it really slows you down because you have to constantly stop and scrape some more mud off. And then tiring too when you have to use your legs and scrape the mud off. It's a tough day right now. I'm glad I didn't go crazy and just say I'll be in Pine after 3 nights. I'll be using up all 4 nights. So I'll try to get a Super Nero on the last day though, but tough. Oh, look at that. Super nice campsite on the right. It just keeps going. So heavy. I gotta scrape my shoes again. Oh, clean rock. There we go. Front shoe. Let's do back shoe on this one. Oh gosh. This feels so much better. Here we go. You know how I haven't pronounced everything so well. We got this guy. From what I hear, it's pronounced Matasal by locals, but the National Forest Service calls it Mazatzal. and there's like different inflections you can call it. So everyone comment away how you pronounce it. And if you Google it, there's a million different ways. But the local pronunciation is like met as hell. So like met azal, met azal, metazal, matazal, matazal, mountains. That's where we are. I was just exhausted. I think it's just lack of sleep because I slept at 1 yesterday. I really gotta do better. When I'm taking a zero, I actually get way less sleep than on trail. So I'm gonna cut my hike shorter today. I think instead of 16, I'm gonna do like 14. There's a campsite near there, I think somewhere around there. And if I go to the other one at this rate, at my current speed, I'll get there at 6 o'clock. And this way I'll get there at 5 and I could set up, eat, and then try to go to sleep early. So, but for now I'm gonna eat these cookies and just kind of try to fuel up for the next 5 miles to the water source. And then we're gonna get to our campsite a couple miles after that. It's just tiring. I don't know if it's the combination of the mud, lack of sleep, a lot of hiking. I don't know. I'm guessing the mud and the lack of sleep is the biggest thing. Here are my Chips Ahoy Chewy. I usually put them in a stack and they usually survive, and I put some extras above and they did not survive. But edible. It's pretty funny. I know there's one person in front of me and he is stepping in wet mud. And every once in a while I can see a rock where he scraped his shoe, just big chunks of mud. So he's having probably a worse time than I had in the last mile. In the beginning it was bad, but in the last mile it's been drying up a little bit. But but it's been so muddy, his prints are just everywhere. You can see it dug in. But one climb, look at those red rocks. And we're gonna go down to our water source. We're not sleeping too high today because it's gonna be a cold one and snow. So I actually thought I'd never see one of these in Arizona, but it's actually been never ending now. It's the old trail stream. There's a trickle of water just pouring down, and it just goes forever. It's from all this melting snow. The catch is it's super muddy. I mean, it's not that deep, the water, but it's generating a lot of mud, making it difficult to walk. But if you really need water, I have an update to my plan for tonight. I'm feeling better. The cookies really kicked in. I only have like 1,300 feet left to climb to get to that second camp, the original plan. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm just gonna go to the first camp, the plan B. I'm just gonna assess the campsite. If it's dry and protected, I'm just gonna stay there overnight. But if it's okay, I might move on to the original plan A. Not sure how that campsite's gonna be, but I think I can get there before 6, so it won't be too bad. But I'm hoping the first one is protected well enough and it's dry. Again, there's snow melting everywhere, so the trail is really muddy. So the chances of the campsite being dry are, I don't know. I won't make any guesses. Let's just hope it is. And if it's surrounded by bushes, even better. That should be coming up soon though. Maybe another 45 minutes. Check out these sheets of rocks. They're so thin. It's like they all came out of there. Shove it in there. They're all loose too. It's so weird, huh? Just real thin sheets all over. Crazy, huh? It's all over here. This is mile 398.5. Up there's actually several good campsites. There's even a metal grill there if you have stuff you want to cook. But over here also, there is a pool of water. Relatively deep. I don't hear anything, but there's a water source, so that's a pretty good campsite. I have about 1.3 more miles to go. I'm gonna cut it this early. It's only 4 o'clock. And if it snows really hard, you can hide in this cave. There's a rusty metal container in there, but looks like it goes in pretty far. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the bottom, so you can't just lay down, but good spot to just kind of get away from the storms, I guess. Yeah, we're still going into washes every now and then following the wash for a little bit and then crossing. But there's a huge cairn here, so that's good. And you can see one on top of the rock up there. But where do you think it goes from there? I don't see any others. I'm guessing Hook's right. No, it's going left, I think. Let's go check it out. Yep, it's a trail going left. It's always like a puzzle sometimes. Always sometimes, right? And then we go up. I just crossed this stream, but look at that huge pool of water. You follow it up and the water's flowing. And look how clean this water is. No algae, no floaties, no weird slick on top. That's stunning. It's so clean. And there's a trail right here. And then further up, there are more pools, but they're smaller. But wow, good water. I guess that's what happens when it rains and stuff. Well, look at that. I'm leaving the Matazal Wilderness, or Mazetzal Wilderness, or Mazetzal. Oh, it's a short one. We are still in the Matazal mountains, though. We are just getting lower, just kind of hugging this creek. And campsite should be maybe a mile ahead. Maybe we're too close to the water. We'll see. It'll get really wet. If it's, whoa, another cave. What the heck? This is a big one. Not as big as the other one, but deep. Huh. Wow, so many caves. Somebody had mentioned that there are a lot of caves here just because people were mining and then just doing like a small mining job. And then I guess copper was a big thing that was out here. So yeah, lots of little caves. Let's see if the color shows up the same in the video. There's these thin slices, but they're all purple. So there's purple rocks everywhere. Like a little pieces. This is a big one, but it's a nice little shade. I bet. Ooh, it's smooth too. But you could sharpen a knife on it. Nice. I have made it to the Plan B campsite. I think this is what they're talking about. It's just right next to the trail. I mean, if you had to, it's nice, but it's at 5 o'clock. I don't want to pitch it because people will still be hiking through and for a couple more hours. Yeah, I'm going to keep going. It's 2.4 miles, 800 feet of climb, but people say good campsite, whereas this is just a campsite of necessity. So if I get there 6:15, I mean, that's not too bad. So let's do this. 800 feet up, we got it. This is mile 400.6. The Arizona Trail basically goes down 700 feet to give you access to water, and then it goes back up 800 feet, all for water, and then you get to carry it up 800 feet. But it's flowing super well right now. I'd say 2 liters a minute easy. Pretty nice. Again, though, it has rained quite a bit the last few days. I'm down by the water, but now I only have 1.5 miles to go, 700 feet up, like 130 feet down, so I guess there's gonna be some down and ups, but 730 is not bad. Maybe it'll take me an hour. I don't know. It's 5:14, so even if it takes me an hour, that's 6:14. It's still better than average day. Better than usual day, I guess. Hopefully it is a good campsite. I saw on Gaia, got a good look at the topographic area. And it looks like a level area, but I don't know how protected it is from like southern winds. We'll see. Northern winds will be protected, but we don't know about the bushes situation either. So 1.5 more miles and we'll find out. Look at all the purple rocks. They're wet, so they're even more purple. But this stream is flowing really well. What's sad is the water mark, like the point where you know there's water, is 0.6 miles behind and 200 feet down. But here, right here, it's flowing better than down there. And if you get it here, you don't have to carry your water up 200 feet. If I did that, I'd feel like a chump. I'd be like, I got water there and carried it up all this way for nothing. Plus, it's so much easier just to fill from here. Pretty wild. That's a lot of water coming through. Well, check this out. This is where all that purple, like, sheetrock stuff's coming from. Well, some of it. So much purple. This purplish rock is the predominant rock around here. There's just so much of it. The ground is slightly purple here and there. This is so funny because there's a trail on the left and look at that thing on the right. You can tell somebody put up a one-man tent or a cowboy camp there. It's all cleared out of the gravel. Hilarious. All right, we are at the location. The note said just a little north there is a good campsite. I hope that wasn't it. Let's go up this little hill. Look around. I didn't see anything back there. I think I might have found it. There's a tiny one here, but there's another one over here. That one was really wet. This one looks like a little wet too, like water pools there. But it's big enough for a duplex without blocking the trail. So I think I'm going to take it. I think people camp here. Yeah, I'm going to take it. It's about 5:15? No, 6:15. Yeah, looking further on the trail, it's just all climbs. It's 6:06 now, so yeah, I think I'll just take it. Actually, like a decent chair there, it's under a tree. It's just no room, but that's fine. No widowmakers, and it's really protected from the wind here. I actually really like this. I'm just gonna kick some gravel out and get to setting up. 6:24 and all set up. Still got enough for the Arizona Trail open. I'm not quite on it. I would say that dark line is it. So I'm maybe a little bit on it. Corner's not there. I think it's reasonable. Nothing too bad. I mean, it's not the best pitch because the corners are just taken up by the rocks and stuff. So it's kind of weird. And I couldn't push it over that way more because it's more curved up there. And then also the rocks. So this is the best I can do. I wish I did it better because the floors aren't as high as it could be, especially if it's gonna rain. But we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be all right. It's pretty cloudy out there. Hopefully it doesn't rain at all. Hopefully they were all wrong. Hopefully it doesn't snow either. I'm taking off my shoes and look at these pants. The inside always just gets really muddy because it's loose and it rubs against the shoes once in a while, and over time, super muddy. It's really flaky. Yeah, it was clean this morning. It's gonna get a lot dirtier in the next few days. I sure hope there's a laundry in Pine. I contacted a trail angel to see about staying at her place because the lodges are so expensive. They're like $190 a night, so I don't want to do that. One thing about this campsite is you probably saw everything looked kind of wet, and when you sit on here it is cold. It's like sitting on wet dirt. So I'm gonna hurry up and blow up this sleeping pad right now, just right away, and then clean up after that, just so I can have something warmer to sit on. Tonight's meal is a Nor Spanish rice and a ramen with no seasoning. I like to do that because with the seasoning it's too salty. So you just add the ramen and it's just right. So hyper light, cozy, and I'll close it up and I'll let it sit for about 15 minutes. My kitchen is basically this Toast 750 milliliter cup. And what I do is I just put a piece of paper towel in there. And I put this little gas canister in upside down. I do it upside down because there's a little moisture in there and I don't want the bottom to rust because I refill them and reuse them. And plus, it's actually quiet. And when you do this, there's a nice concave part. And you could put your stove and your lighter in there. But of course I gotta put the stove in the back. But everything fits in there really nicely. And yeah, one good advantage of having a canister inside your pot is that it'll help prevent the pot from getting crushed because it gives it a lot of, I mean, it fits in there just perfectly, so it protects it. I've been on trips where I kind of crushed it before when I used the bigger canisters, which doesn't fit. But the small canister is multi-purpose in that it gives it rigidity so it doesn't get crushed.